Good afternoon, one and all. On behalf of MLAC, I, Nakshia Jain from Department of History, welcome you all to today's session of celebrating women leaders. Now, I request Ms. Lakshmi S., Coordinator, Women in Leadership Team, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I would like to start the welcome address by thanking our Managing Trustee, K. Jaira sir, for bringing us together to celebrate a constellation of women leaders across different fields through this Golden Jubilee Women in Leadership series. This series strives to connect students with established female leaders in a variety of fields and also aims to inspire and empower women to engage in purposeful career development. With this, I first like to welcome our beloved Principal Madam, Dr. Shashikala Hay. Welcome to you, ma'am. And our speaker for the day, Ms. Maya Chandra, owner of Maya Films. Welcome to you, ma'am. I would extend my warm welcome to all the head of the departments, faculty members, and to our dear students. Welcome to you all. Thank you.
It is said leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact passed in your absence. Today, we have women leaders who have made such impact in various fields of media. Our speaker for the day is an eminent woman who have broken glass ceilings and have pushed the frontiers of women leaders and have waved the path for other women and girls to follow her footsteps and become the future leaders. She is one of the voice which is heard, which is when it comes to local and international media. Now, I request Dr. Hema Malini MJ, Head Placement and Training, to introduce and welcome our speaker, Ms. Maya Chandra. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nakshi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker for the day, Ms. Maya Chandra, who would be sharing us about a journey to success. What do I say? Maya Chandra ma'am is a founder director of Maya Production Enterprise for more than 25 years of successful, which she has an industry experience. And this company, Maya Productions, has been working in several domains, challenging domains like government, healthcare, corporate and political communications, biopics, wildlife, historical disease, music videos, etc., whatnot. And then has been preferred enterprise to create films for promoting Karnataka as a business destination to global audiences. We've also produced more than 350. Maya Chandra ma'am has been an instrumental in engaging and directing many celebrities for endorsing causes like Amitabh Bachchan for war widows, Puneet Rajkumar for right to education, Sudeep for Aadhaar card, and Yash. She also ensures to leverage the power of this medium in promoting social causes such as organ donation, national pride, historical legacies, and works with special children and war widows. She has recently forayed into web series, podcasts, readings focusing on royal legacies. She has compiled a book of unpublished lectures and articles about Bharat Ratna Sir M. Visvesvaraya. Maya Chandra ma'am has also received recognitions like prestigious Chanakya Award for Best Communicator by Public Relations Council of India, Shiver Award from Rotary Club, and her films have won many national awards and screened at the Bangalore and Mumbai International Film Festivals. Maya Chandra ma'am has also completed her master's in mass communication from Emerson College, Boston, and worked at Columbia Broadcasting Station, Boston, before returning back to Bangalore to become an entrepreneur. Ma'am is an alumnus of RV institutions and first woman trustee of the parent body, RSST. She's also on the board of governors of RV University. We are fortunate enough, ma'am, to have you with us today as a speaker of the day, and wonderful to get connected. And it's been, a great thing for all our students to get to know your journey of success, ma'am. And we welcome you on board. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hema and the team there who were instrumental in calling me for this leadership series. I see that we have 100 students on board, I think now. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. I think there's YouTube streaming as well going on.
Okay. So it's nice to meet all of you. And I think Dr. Hema forgot to mention that I had made also your film on MLAC.
Yes, and that documentary is our ma'am's contribution.
I think the documentary that you see on your website is also made by us. And I'm fortunate enough that I'll be making your documentary for your Golden Jubilee also. Yes. And that's where the connection with MLAC is really all about. Is my audio okay for all of you?
Perfect, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. So maybe Hema, you could start with a question because, in a journey of 25 years, you don't know where to begin and how to focus on this journey of success. And maybe questions and answers will lead me into a more this thing rather than me being a monologue here. What do you say?
Yes, ma'am, that's right. I think Lakshmi and Nakshi, I think you.
Lakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You can just tick off and say and have a little dialogue with me so that we can get going.
Yes,
and then I'm hoping that students are allowed to ask questions and then interact and do all that.
Yes, yes.
You're not keeping them on video for some reason, I suppose. You have your reasons for that.
No, we are students. You can come on video.
I would like to see all of you rather than just the blank screens and the names. Girls, because we also get to know if you're really watching us or not.
Girls, please on your videos. Come on, girls.
This is more of interactive session, girls. There is nothing.
Yes, I would like to make it interactive, girls. Why don't we all come on video? And Lakshmi, you can get started. Maybe they'll take time to come on to video.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the main purpose of conducting this Women in Leadership series is we want to know what made a woman, a leader, to be in this position today. What made you to decide that I have to take up media, have to be in this field. So we have to know what were the hurdles you faced when you were making this journey of success. So what message you would like to give to our students who would feel that, oh, nam kaili sadhya agata, now we ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ? Because women, as we all know, that family problems irutte, not supportive family they'll have. So a lot of hurdles women face. So we want to know how you overcome all these hurdles and what made you to be in this position today.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshmi and Nakshi. Yeah, Nakshi. Yeah, girls, hi. Any journalism, mass communication students on board here? Or what are the students' profile like? Is it graduate, undergraduate?
Ma'am, they are undergraduate students, UG students, all BA, BBA, BSc, BWOP, all the students are there.
You also have journalism and mass communication also,
we
right?
do have. Yes.
Those students also must be here.
Yes, ma'am, they are also there.
I'm quite surprised nobody wants to come on video. It's anyway, that's their choice. So yeah, it has been a very, very interesting journey for the last 25 years plus now. And I started off by studying bachelor's in journalism at NNKRV College. We were one of the earliest batches of students who are being trained in journalism from RV. And from there, the journey began because journalism was very exciting for me. And I took every opportunity to see that we get good practical hands-on training at that time. And as you know, 25, 26, or maybe even 30 years ago, the media was not what it is today. So it is a very, very different media, very nascent media, innocent media that we were all trained in. And from there, the journalism journey crafted into mass communication. And in mass communication, I opted to take on film production. So that's how it happened. From there, I went to Bangalore University. I did my bachelor's in mass communication. And then from there,
Ma'am, you have muted your call, ma'am.
the host had muted me. The host had muted because I think there was some disturbance from somebody.
Yeah.
So anyway, from there, went abroad, did my master's in mass communication, and I was able to take on very good practical assignments there because the system of education is very different in the US. And I was able to get a very good hands-on training on film production and many other aspects that I really needed to learn about, which took me on to an internship with one of the most popular television, national television networks called Columbia Broadcasting Service. That was the CBS, which was based in Boston. So I worked with them as an intern for about 6 months. And then the internship turned into a job opportunity, which was due to the hard work that I put in as an intern. So what happened at Columbia Broadcasting Service was that it was a broadcast journalism kind of an assignment, which I was very excited about, and I took it on in full state. And then I completed that assignment for about a year and a half. Then I realized that I need to come back to my roots and set up something which I'm able to prove myself out of. And that's where I think the real challenging journey actually started, because about 26, 27 years ago, the field that I'm in today here was very, very raw, extremely raw. And there was absolutely no other channel except, you will all remember, I hope some of the elderly people here will remember, was just Doordarshan. That's about it. There was nothing else in terms of television or media or internet or anything else. The life was very different those days. So it was a hard, difficult climb, which had where I wanted to start my entrepreneurial journey, because I had come back from the US being trained in my master's program. I was thoroughly trained. I worked in a TV station in the US, and then came back to Bangalore, which was so raw. It was not even Mumbai, it was Bangalore. So there was the challenge, and then the challenge was very tough, but I managed through it, did some freelance assignments, did editing jobs and those kind of things, which had to get me to the ropes, learning the ropes of what Bangalore was all about. And the media, I was exposed to the media. There were some few people who really looked at my talent and gave me editing assignments. That's how the journey started. I started editing films. So that was a technical part of the job. So what happened here was a woman from the US, trained in the US, come into a small dinky little studio somewhere in the outskirts of Bangalore, sitting and editing films, which was not taken very, taken in stride by the men who were in the business at that time. So there was a lot of, what do I say? I wouldn't say ridicule or anything, but there was a lot of mistrust. They would probably wait for me to make a mistake. That's how I would like to put it. Because it was a technical job, and women don't handle technical, you see, according to the conventional belief system. Women cannot handle technical. So how can she be an editor? How can she work day and night? It's not going to be possible. She's just trying to show off. And these were some of the comments that you were hearing those days. But life went well because there were a few producers who believed in my abilities and who worked with me, and I did successfully complete some major projects at that time in the on the technical front. So it just progressed like that for a couple of years, and then my journey, then I realized that the time was right that I could start on my own and start a company of my own. So that's when Maya really turned out, and I named it Maya for a lot of reasons. Because it's not just my name that it reflects, but it's also because it is the medium with which we work. It is a medium of vision, it's a medium of imagination, it's a medium of taking people to a world which is different. That's what Maya is all about, to be very in simplistic terms. And hence the company was named Maya. And it was initially a difficult job. We were in the beginning doing things like industrial films and corporate films. That was what was in vogue those days. And industrial films means you're going into factories and manufacturing companies and shooting and making films for them. So films used to be like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, like that those days. And equipment was huge, bulky, and things were very, very different, you know. And it was men everywhere. Everywhere there were men. There was not a single lady in anywhere, in any department when I started off. And we started making corporate films, industrial films, and many things like that. And one thing that stood apart was that you are remembered by your very last work. Okay, if your work is good, if your work is great, your work has been delivered on time, client is happy, your next work is assured by somebody or the other, definitely. But if there is even one small mistake that you have made in any aspect of the entire process that you are with a customer, it just goes the wrong way. So that's how things were. And one led to another because the films were good and we were putting in a lot of effort, a lot of creativity into it, a lot of, what do I say, extra, you know, exceed expectations of the customer. That's what I had always believed in, you know, surprise them, give them something that they did not expect. So that's how it happened. And it was very successful, the first few films and which we made. And I was at that time working on my own. My car was my office, and I was all alone, handling everything right from the conceptualization to right from business development, conceptualization, production, post-production, and final delivery and things like that. So that's how it began. It all began in a small car, which I could afford to buy at that time. And the car was the office. The car was my everything. I would drive myself because I couldn't afford a driver. So things were like that. And I enjoyed that journey for almost, I think, 15 years or so. 10, 15 years, I enjoyed that journey. At least 10, 12 years, I enjoyed that journey of being so alone, so by myself, completely independent, and building business. I mean, we worked with companies like GE at that time, and I would drive almost every day in the week from Baswangudi, where my home was, which I didn't have an office, to ITPL, where their office was. And it was horrendous. Day and night, we would have to be there and work with them in meetings, developing concepts. And that's when you really understood the corporate culture and gave them some extraordinary films. With GE, I was with them for almost 9 consecutive years. I made films for them every year, year on year. And that, I think, is a very big record considering the size of the company and the reputation of the company. And for 9 years, the teams would be different, but I would remain constant. So that's how it was exciting. It was very, very nice. And By the time I reached that 10th year, the government started noticing me, the state government, for the kind of work that I was putting up. And I was called by the team who was handling, who was a team which was constituted to handle brand Bangalore at that time. The year was 2000. And that was the time, 2001, 2002, I think that was the year when the team was constituted under the former Chief Minister, Mr. S.M. Krishna, who took a lot of initiative in trying to build the brand called Bangalore. Today's paper, you would see that he is, he has referred to this word. Let's bring back the glory of brand Bangalore. He has mentioned it today. So this were the days of the initial period of the IT and the BT industry, especially the IT industry starting off in Bangalore. And some of you would recollect and remember, think over that the first company to come into Bangalore was Texas Instruments. And after that, a slew of companies came over and set up shop in Bangalore because the branding was so big and so high. And Bangalore offered all the amenities for the investors to set up their shop. And behind all this was one film that did make a difference to all this, which was called The Power of Bangalore, Make It Yours. Make IT, I had made it as capitals. So it was Make It Yours. So which means it was IT and it was it also, Make It Yours. So we, I was a little, I think, overconfident in terms of trying to give a very, very different type of flavor to Sarkari communications, as you say. I didn't want to make a Doordarshan documentary. I didn't want to make something which they wanted. So I went a very radical path and created a music video for them, which I think, kind of it blew the minds of everybody who was involved. I was working with the top bureaucrats at that time, ministers, bureaucrats at that time, and I was still all alone. I would go for the meetings alone. I would handle the concepts alone. I would, up to the production stage, I would be all alone. After that was when I had to hire people, hire the teams, the right teams, and then work with them and deliver the product, because I had not made enough money to set up my own company and set up my infrastructure at that time. So we started off like this, and we started off with very, very small budgets. I started off with the government and made this one big film for them, which kind of went all over the globe, that film. And it built the brand of Bangalore. It showed Bangalore in a very, very different light. And, I think it will be too, glorifying to say that that film made a difference and many people came into Bangalore. But that film was incidental in terms of the way the development took place after that in the business sector and in the IT sector of Bangalore. So we were witnesses to that boom, and the association with the government continued. It started in 2001, 2002, and it's continued even to this day. That means it's about 20 years with the government, the state government. And remember, the state government in this 20 years has seen different political parties, has seen different chief ministers, has seen different bureaucrats in different positions. But again, I stayed constant. I'm still there, along with the competition that exists. But I'm alone in my own space where the departments know when to call me, for what to call me. That's a different story today. So that's how we progressed. And then we quickly, I'll jump on to 2010 when we came into the Global Investors Meet. The teachers would remember that 2010 was a very big milestone for the government of Karnataka, because that they held one of the most mega events that is called the Global Investor Meet 2010. The chief minister at that time was Yediyurappa, and we had the cream de la cream of business coming into Bangalore at that time. So there we had Lakshmi Mittal, we had Birlas, and we had the Tatas, and we had everybody coming into Bangalore to attend that meet. And by then, I had curated another interesting idea for the state government, which was gathering testimonials of these leaders about what they feel about Brand Bangalore. So we had become quite well versed in that, and it continued with that global investor meets when we met almost all the business leaders of the world. And it was a period of glory for the state government, I would say, because I don't see any of that anymore. And that was the time that Karnataka was shining, Bangalore was shining, and I had this most lucky opportunity to sit in front of Lakshmi Mittal, interview him, sit in front of Ratan Tata, interview him, sit in front of Kumaramangalam Birla, and these are the kinds of people that I met during that time. And it was such a wonderful learning process, interaction process. And even people like Warren Buffett, the person who was the managing director of Dell, and even Bill Gates came at that time. So these are the kinds of people that we had opportunities to interact, and it was a very, very free world for me, because whatever I said, whatever I asked for, I would get it from the state government. And they knew that at that point of time that I'm not asking unreasonable requests and unreasonable things. My passion was in the right place. My passion was to build Bangalore, build Karnataka business, and achieve the objectives which they had set forth. And this was largely a very huge responsibility that was on my shoulder, because they expected me to keep getting better and better every year. And it happened. And fortunately for me, by then I started having a constant team with me. And then slowly my infrastructure came up. I built my own company, built my own infrastructure, put up my infrastructure, again, with no bank loans, no overheads, no kind of loans and liabilities, but with the profits that I had saved from the business that I had generated all these years. So the company started, and then from then on, it's been a no looking back kind of a journey. And today we have adapted to the times, forayed into mediums that like web series and podcasts and book publishing and many other things like that. I have a small team of about 7 people today, with the best of infrastructure and the best of facilities here. And, it's been a wonderful journey. So this whole thing has been like about 350 to 400 films by now. I think must be more, but I lost count. And enjoying the journey, enjoying still the journey, because every day gives me an opportunity to meet new people, new places, new things, new concepts, new ideas. But the challenges remain. The challenges remain, the challenges of consistency, challenges of quality, that you need to meet up expectations, to meet up. And it's a high pressure job. It's not something that you can sit back and say, I'll sit back and the films will go on by itself. Today, I am still handling, at least 3 jobs at a time. 3 films are going on at a time, on an average in our company. And our clientele has, been a vast range of domains. In the middle of all this, I maybe get back a little bit. We forayed into healthcare communications, which is a very, very niche and a defining segment. While I was working in the government sector, I got an opportunity to do films on medical tourism, which got me introduced to hospitals and healthcare institutions. And it just progressed into making films for various hospitals and healthcare institutions, pharma companies. And that was another very, very niche segment that, I kind of built, I kind of curated, and again set a benchmark and standards in terms of how films should look for healthcare. So we worked in the same journey of 25 years, 20 plus years with healthcare, 20 plus years with government. And with that, many private clients were there. So this was what quickly the journey was. And now I'll break off because I want people to ask me questions. Otherwise, it's going to be very, monologuish.
Ma'am, what was the motivation for you to be so persistent in this field? Why? Because young girls, especially this generation girls, if they face any one difficulty or ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ they set back, they come back, they don't want to do it again. So what was the motivation for you, ma'am, to be so persistent in this field? So
see, I think it's the passion, it's my passion, and it's my love for what I do. I consider my work as worship. Okay, that's my motto also, work is worship. And nothing can set me back, nothing. Till now, nothing will bog me down. It's just that inner strength that I have developed, that I need to make good films. I need to make this client who has come to me with a belief that we can make a difference to his business or her business or whatever. I need to help that objective. I need to meet objectives in my film. Okay, I'm not like an advertising agency who will take up the work and who will want to just bill a huge amount of money and ask for unreasonable requests and unreasonable things on creatives. Like I want to shoot in Maldives or I want to shoot in South Africa, those kind of things where actually things can be done out of Bangalore. I want to make it affordable. I want to make it easy on the client. I want to understand what they want to communicate, and I want to be their best communicator. And that's how it has held me through. And, if there are always challenges, there are challenges even to this day that the client does not brief you properly. The client does not know what they want. You have to guide them. You have to handhold them. And many times now they just say, we're giving you the job. It's your baby. You do what you want. You know what we want. And that's a huge responsibility because you've taken on someone else's baby and you're trying to nurture it. And it's not an easy task. But what keeps me going is because I make it interesting every day. I don't get unhappy with unhappy things happening around me. And, it's just that many people say that she is too hot-headed or she's too upright and those kind of things. But I like that. I don't care. This is my domain. I know how to curate it and I know how to do it. And just leave it to me. I know what to do it. Nobody can come in my way. I think I've been little Durga Devi in that.
yes, ma'am. Every girl has to be Durga Devi itself.
Yes.
And ma'am, one more thing what I want to ask is, when we say media, the field media, we will have a lot of societal barriers or family barriers. So how a girl have to overcome it and how she has to be strong? Because when we say barriers, that especially when it comes to society and family, we become very emotional and we have the passion, but we don't want to get into that field. So
yeah.
What your words are, ma'am?
Yeah, family has been, my family especially has been a great support to me. My parents, when I took up journalism itself and took up English literature, journalism and psychology itself, they knew that I'm not the normal type of engineering. And that's how, and they knew that I'm not the normal journalism student again. So I would go after assignments. Even in the days that I was a student, I would go after assignments. I would sit in Deccan Herald day and night, work there on reviews and internships and those kind of things. Whenever I had the time, I would be doing something. So the best thing that my mother or my father did was give me the second key of my house to me and say, okay, do whatever you want. Come whatever time you want, but be safe. That's all, So that second key, I keep, even in my teaching sessions, I keep telling my students that It's very important for a girl to get that second key of the house. And why get it? With the belief in your parents. The parents should believe your courage. The parents should believe what you're setting out to do is the right thing. And that's when you should take that key. It's not because you zabardast say you cannot take that key. No, I'm going to stay out late night, so you give me the key. No, it's not like that. That key is a big testimony to what your parents believe that you can do. And that belief was very early on for my parents. My sister, of course, was abroad and my brother was abroad studying. So there was only my parents and me. And that's how I got that freedom to do what I want to do. They didn't say, okay, sit at home and do your journalism assignments, which was not going to be possible. Those days I'm talking about. Today you can probably do it, but not those days. I had to go out, I had to meet people, I had to get inspired, I had to learn more, do more, because the college was not, was not enough for in this medium. No education is enough. No amount of classroom learning is enough. It's only the world out there that teaches you. So this is how it happened in the family. And over the line of time, I decided to stay single because it was an important decision that I took on in my life, because I was in a profession that was very demanding on my time and my responsibility. And there were times that you get called to the editing room, or you were wanting, your productions would go on in the nights. You had the next day go back into your studio and do your editing. And there is no time for family, friends, commitments, nothing. It's only off late that I've settled down now after 25, 26 years, that now today I'm affording to go out with friends, or I'm affording to have a social life a little bit. But the first sacrifice that comes is the family. The second sacrifice that comes is your social life. And I don't know, it's very different today. I cannot relate to it today, because today social life comes above everything else. Okay, nobody can sacrifice social life. But I feel that for those who want to be successful, I'm talking of media and this profession, mainly because this is not a very organized profession. This is a non-institutionalized kind of a career, and something that doesn't work on a 10 to 6 kind of, or a 9 to 5 kind of a timeline. Okay. So this is where the sacrifices become very important. So given the challenges that I had at the time that I started my company, there was no way that I could split up that time with starting a family or starting a marriage or starting anything else. So because those are high demanding ones, especially on your time and your emotional quotient, both. So I needed to focus. That's all I needed to focus on: my life, on my career, on my building something that would make me feel happy and proud. Because had I taken the other route, I don't know. I'm just thinking today, had I mixed a marriage and a family with this, I may not have been 350, 400 films, but I might have been 100, 150 films. And I might have been restricted in my foray, restricted in my bandwidth, restricted in the way I work. And there would be many other constraints like that. But I have no regrets. That's the other thing. When you take conscious decisions in your life, you have no regrets. You should not have regrets. Okay, you cannot sit back today and say, oops, I did this and look at me. Who's going to look at me in my old age and all that? No. This is a conscious choice. You have made it. You have taken it up on yourself. So you face it. You manage your life and you learn how to manage your life. And that's how it's important for success, that you know these sutras very well, how to do it. Today, I have a lovely family of parents, my sister and brother's family and everybody else, and friends who look up to me and who are with me when I want them. So there is nothing that I've really missed out, because when it required, I did give people time, I did give people compassion, and I did give people whatever was expected of me. I did not, become selfish. That is the other thing that I want to talk about here. Being selfish and looking after only your interests and not the interests of other people. So there is a very, very interesting and a delicate mix of being selfish, yet being compassionate. So this is very important mix for a woman to make, because a lot is expected from her in the different roles that she plays in society and in family and in different structures of life. So this is where the balance has come, and I'm on a very lovely plane today, extremely happy, very, very happy. Couldn't have asked for more, and been successful. And, I enjoy whatever has come along my way. I don't seek work. I don't go out and aggressively market. I don't ask for awards. I don't ask for anything. Whatever comes my way is mainly based on my credibility. And this is what I have built. And this is what people, teams, it's not possible by one woman in this business. So there have been teams who have been with me, who have stayed with me 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. Some people have stayed with me. They have gone away. They have set up their own companies. And today, when I look back, this is what is this contribution that I've given back to this industry, where people have been with me, trained with me, got groomed in the industry, and they have gone out and set up their own companies, and they're all managing their own clients and jobs. That is the interesting aspect. Today, if you look at some major companies doing work, who are the people behind that? Is people who have trained with me, people, cameramen, editors, producers, directors, who have worked with me and who've gone out today and been successful on their own. And they're all still friends with me, even if they left me and went. Today, they call me on my birthdays or on special days, on the days that a company was set up. They wish. And on Ayush Puja and Vijayadashmi, this is the day that every one of us get together. All the staff who were with me, who worked with me, everybody gets together and we share a meal together. And this is the ethos that I have created. And it's wonderful when I look back on it in terms of what is the magic that has happened. And this is only because I think you have worked with diligence, you've taught people, what it is to be working with ethics and values and elegance. And this is what makes the difference. And I'm happy on that count also, in terms of not a single person who has worked with me and left me and gone has ever had any conflict with me or conflict with the company's interests. And this is what is the most beautiful thing about this. Today, the people who work with me are paid on an industry basis, on an industry parity, and they are happy. I ensure that they're happy in whatever way they want to be happy. That's how the environment here in our company is created. And, we work like that, and it's wonderful.
Ma'am, if you have to tell, these are my 3 strengths. So what would be the 3 strengths, ma'am?
One is ethics. Work with ethics all the time, in every aspect of your life, work life and personal life. Ethics and values come on top for me. You cannot compromise on those. That is very, very unforgiving if anybody has to do that. And definitely diligence, hard work, persistence, consistency, and staying on top of knowledge is very important. You need to read, you need to imbibe knowledge, you need to exude knowledge. You need to constantly be on top of everything that you have. And lastly, as a woman, you need to be elegant. You need to be feminine. You need to be elegant. Just because you're in a male-dominated world, it's not that you can shout around, scream around, kick around, do things which are which make someone feel that, you know, hey, she's very manly or she's very aggressive. No, aggressiveness also is a trait of elegance. Okay, you can be very elegantly aggressive and get your way, but you don't have to be the other type of aggressive, which I see. Why I brought up this point is I see this in the generation of today. You're unnecessarily aggressive.
Aggressive, exactly.
Unnecessarily, you're losing that touch of femininity that God has bestowed upon you. And being a woman is such a beautiful thing. And I don't see that. I'm sorry I'm saying this. Many of the youngsters I hear, but somewhere along the line, you want to be aggressive. You want to break that glass ceiling. You want to prove to somebody that you're, going to do something that is out of this world. Yeah, do it in elegance. Do it with your own set of values and ethics. And that's what's going to make it a difference for you.
Yes, ma'am. Have you ever felt that there is a weakness for me, or have you ever come across some weakness in you, and have you ever overcome that weakness?
Yes, definitely. All of us are human, isn't it?
Yes,
so we are all having our own weaknesses. My weakness used to be my short temper. My weakness used to be, impatience. But over a period of time, you get to learn that it's not going to work. And at one point of time, it was difficult. But you need to get over it. You need to, that's when I really got a little bit deeper into my yoga and my meditation. And, I started getting more focus on things. I wanted to, it was becoming impatient and trying to do more in the less time. So that's where you needed to kind of debalance and kind of come back to terms on the plane and then say, hey, listen, this is what you're in for. So that's when, you adopt something like yoga and meditation, and then you start focusing better. You start overcoming your weakness. You start shaping yourself more mature, more wise, and life teaches you along the way. And it has taught me along the way in terms of how to be a lot more mature than what you start off to be. Because you feel in the beginning, when you start your company, you feel that, hey, listen, sometimes there were times that you would not get business. There were times that they were low. There were times which were very low on finances. And, what held me through was, no, hell, you're doing good. You're doing great work. And you're being honest to your work. So the work will come. It just takes patience to wait for that opportune moment. And that's what, held me through. And financial discipline. Financial discipline is very important when you're running your own company. Okay, you had muted me, I think. Okay. Even though it's a proprietary company, I can do whatever I want with my money, which the billings that we get. But no, you should have the personal integrity to see that your people are looked after well, your team is looked after well, you're spending good putting back the profits into the company, and you just take whatever you need. That's it. Nobody is there to question me today on my financial aspects, but it's your own conscience that should stand out and question you and say that you're going to be very, very disciplined about how you pay your people on time, pay them well, and keep a discipline that is going, not, be foolish and foolhardy. And the other thing about financial discipline when it comes to entrepreneurship is maybe in my case, it has worked. I had pledged to myself that I'm never going to take on bank loans, and I'm never going to take on overheads, and never going to take on any liabilities, because God forsake something happens to me, I don't want somebody else to suffer that. That is one aspect. And the second aspect was it was a challenge on myself that I'm going to manage myself with good profits and manage the company with good profits and not ever stoop down to take a loan or to take overheads or to take ODs. And it has worked. It has worked brilliantly for me. My team, even to this day, gets paid on time. And I'm so proud to say that during the 2 years of Corona, everybody got paid. No cuts, no nothing. I didn't cut anybody's salary because I knew that was the time that they all were trying to recover from the wound. And we all went through our phases of Corona and everybody came out of it. We got work during the Corona period, and that was what the brilliant thing was all about. And that's how we recovered and we're back. And it's always been a profit-making company. So never I've had to have any other problems with that.
So, ma'am, here, since we have heard about your journey, it's always a question whenever you compare your journey with the present trending world, what are the suggestions you would like to tell us students that they should be aware of? Any like 3 strengths or weaknesses where we get to know that, how it was before? They say old is gold. Is it truly applied in this aspect?
See, times change. One has to adapt to change. Definitely. Today, you have to adapt to technology. You have to depend on technology. You have to depend on a lot of things to get your work done. But your basic core has to remain. Your basic core of you wanting to achieve something, you wanting to do hard work, you wanting to be resilient through the thicks and thins of life, that has to be extremely precious to you. That core should not change. Today, what I see in the youngsters is like it's floating. I ask in class, how many of you want a job or a career? And I don't see any hands going up. First of all, then I have to explain what is a job, what is a career. Then we see some hands going up for career, some hands going up for job. But there again, there's no focus. You're studying communications or you're studying journalism, but where is the fault? The fault lies somewhere else. We are all trying to blame the system, blame the syllabus, blame so many things, but you as a core should remain focused. You want to achieve something. You should achieve something. Do you want to do something? Or you don't want to do anything? That's also perfectly fine with me. Okay, be a good housewife, be a good mother. That's still a great job, but be good at it. Don't complain, don't have regrets. These are some things, some girls tend to do something and then they regret, or then they step back, then they go to something else, then they step back. No. What is your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I think each one of you should analyze within yourselves, and then discuss within yourself whether you want to make it or just chill after college. You just want to be a good housewife. That's also a great job. Being a good housewife, be good at it. That's all I'm saying. You want to become a mother very soon? Sure, be a mother. Be whatever you want to be. But you follow that being good, being ethical, being elegant, being just trendy with the times. That's it. So the weaknesses and this thing, I think everyone knows what is their weakness, what is their strength, but somehow it just gets diluted in the process of you trying to discover yourself.
That was really excellent, ma'am. We shall take some questions from students now.
I was looking forward to see, first of all, this is what is very interesting. In most of the online sessions, either the students are not allowed to come on video. I don't know what is happening here.
No, they are allowed to, ma'am. They are allowed to. I think they are not.
Why is it that everybody is fearful or not wanting to come on camera? Is it the way we look, the way we are, the way we are positioned, the way we are, or you're doing something else and you don't want to be seen?
There could also be, ma'am, we actually, we see the students have a lot of communication, problem. They scared to come out. They feel that, maybe we are telling something wrong. It could be offensive or something like that.
This is where the first step is, never feel anything stupid. Don't feel that, you don't want to come on camera because, you might be doing something else, watching your mobile or, watching something on television or browsing something, or maybe some of you just are listening and not wanting to come on camera. But I really want to understand this mentality of all girls here. Why is it that none of you want to come on camera?
Girls, please respond.
Please come
if
on.
you all feel that you are all there listening to me and not being forced to listen to me and follow the protocols of your college, and if you have done this willingly, please come on camera. See?
Well, if not camera, at least, come up with some curiosity, some questions that ma'am can answer. This is a golden opportunity you have.
No, I don't want to talk to blank spaces. Okay, that's what I said in the beginning. I don't want to talk to black boxes.
Anusha, but
thank you, Anusha. Requesting
others
to
Gautami.
Yes.
Good, come on. Need a heart.
No, I think Lakshmi, you must be knowing the mentality of the girls better.
No, we know, ma'am. They don't. We request them to come on camera to speak out. They do not.
Okay, can any one of you tell me why you're not coming on camera? Don't come on camera. Be in the black box, but tell me why. What is preventing you from coming out?
Thank you, Chandana.
Thank you, Kavya. That's good. So we have one. Now come on, let's see who will follow this
girls,
game.
Come on. You're actually motivating the other girls to step up. Come on, girls.
Yeah. Don't you want to know more about my work? More about, no one asked me why we are not seeing any of her films. How is it to make films? I think no one's listening actually. Must be a conversation between you and me, and that's it. Is that so, girls? There, nice, Anusha. Thank you for coming on camera.
Good now.
Gautami, wonderful. 3 we have finally coaxed 3 people to come on camera.
There are more than
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 students.
Oh, is it? Wait, let me see now. Yeah, Chandana, Bhavyashri, Amisha, Shirisha, yeah.
Lakshmi, Anusha.
Brinda, yes, you are audible.
Yes, anybody has any questions? I think we are coming to the end of the session. Are we, Lakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We will take some questions from students.
Yeah, I'm
They're actually messaging in chat box, ma'am. One student has asked,
how many films?
How many films?
Yeah, I said more than 350, 60, 350 to 400 films, I think, till now. I've lost count actually. Sometime I want to sit down and count how many films I've made. Yes?
You can unmute. You have all the freedom of unmuting yourself and asking direct questions to ma'am. Girls, we are actually waiting for you.
Yeah, questions, anything? Anusha, Gautami? Others on camera? Chandana? Keltira questions keli kannadallu keli parvagilla ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Girls, please respect, because ma'am in her busy schedule, she has kept some time for us to share her journey. So I think you'll have to speak up now. It's enough, It's not a class.
Yeah, it's not a class.
Action
Come on,
session.
guys. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun questions. Let's see how creative you can get with your questions. We have, I think Hema also agrees with me that the trustees want to build more leaders from this college. The management is that is one of the reasons why they arranged this series.
Yes, ma'am.
And how can we make leaders? We need to ask even the silliest question. It doesn't matter. And come on camera, be bold, be courageous, and Kannadadalli matartira. Kannadadalli matari nanu Kannadadole. I am proud of being a Kannadiga, and Kannadadalli matartini. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಎರಡೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ನಂಗೆ ಹಿಂದಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಂಗೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, I was expecting all kinds of naughty questions. Nothing is coming, Hema.
There are few questions in the chat box. What was your motivation?
Yeah. What was your motivation? ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. How to stop? Starting
fear. Starting fear.
What made you
initially there will be some fear, ma'am. Like, will I be successful in this field, particular field? If I'm stepping here. So the question is like, as I'm interpreting, might be how that starting when they step into the field, they'll have some sort of fear. So how to stop it? How to overcome it?
See, see, fear is a result of many things. Okay, it's not just one internal thing that happens to you, but it's also a lot of societal circumstances, socioeconomic circumstances, and many things like that. Fear stems for the girls today. But you have to recognize that you have fear. How do I overcome it? I overcome it with gaining knowledge. I overcome it with trying to focus myself into what do I want to do. Okay, how do I do it? Or do I have a fear that is so exhaustive and extensive that I need to seek help, that I need to talk about my fear? First of all, you need to, whoever is the closest person to you, you talk about your fear to that person. It could be your friend, it could be your mother, it could be anybody. But then again, we need to have that the recognition that I want to overcome my fear. That is important. I want to overcome this. Like, for example, I want to overcome this, whatever is happening here while I'm not wanting to come on camera. What if people, we grow our career or future be our weakness or don't hope good for us? How should we face them or move on? Ma'am, what if the people we grow our career or future be our weakness or don't hope good for us? How should we face them or move on? Which was your latest film? I lost a couple of questions in the chat box. 1 minute. What made you come up with this journey? I think you listened to me, right? What was your motivation? My motivation was that I didn't want a conventional career. I didn't want a conventional being an engineer or being a doctor, which was the only two options available the days that I was studying. That was my motivation. I wanted to take the untrodden path. That was the motivation. Your favorite film, as in what I made, or what is the outside world film? Forrest Gump. That is my favorite film. Any film of Amitabh is my favorite film. Amitabh Bachchan, according to me, is my biggest hero. So I had the dream. I had a dream of meeting him, interviewing him. That also got completed. So you keep on dreaming and you try to make your dreams come true, And that took me 6 months to reach him, but I did persist. I did move ahead. And before Amitabh Bachchan, I was very much, fida over Steven Spielberg and the kind of films that he makes. So when I was in the US, I wrote to him, I interacted with him. And, you should never think, okay, I'm sitting here somewhere, I'm a little student, I can't do something that is on top. No, you can. It's only how do I reach there? And today, believe me, girls, your world is much easier. You have internet, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have everything in your fingertips to reach where you want to reach. And that is what is important. In our days, we didn't. We still writing letters and still trying to find addresses and how to reach them, how to reach this person, make landline calls and those kind of things. But it's not like that for you anymore. The world is easier. So it's easier to navigate, easier to focus, and easier to overcome all the negativities in you.
Journalism students, you don't have any questions to pose?
No, we have questions on chat box.
Do you feel men get more opportunities than women? No, no, no. Please get all this out of your mind. No man, woman here. I think one thing our system is teaching us is this man-woman thing. And we need to get out of this very soon because everybody is equal in getting opportunities as long as you work hard, as long as you focus, as long as you dedicate yourself to what you want to do. There's nothing like man or woman. Today, when I go and work with the government today, I work with equal number of IAS women and IAS men. And I see them there. And I said, it's wonderful to see young IAS officers, women officers, young IAS men officers. And you have seen women in every field that you can perceive of. So there is nothing like men get more opportunities than women. No, there is something in our mental conditioning that we need to break out of. I'm saying it very easy. I know it's very difficult for many people, very difficult for from where a lot of people come from. But you saw even recently that woman wrestler, she got the world championship just 2 days ago, right? Where was she from? She was from some back of beyond, some place in North India, isn't it? So imagine the kind of things she was facing, wrestling, that too. She's conquered it.
Ma'am, we have few questions on YouTube as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there are a live chat. So one student asked, do you think wedding would be a hindrance to achievement?
Yes and no. I think the answer is in that yes and no. Yes, because depends on which field you want to go into. Today, most of the jobs are 9 to 5 and most couples are IT couples. You've seen how life is with them. And I don't need to speak about that. It's a conscious choice which you have to make, but I'm not against marriage or I'm not for marriage. So I'm neutral. It all is an independent, individual prioritization of your own life. And when you do get into a marriage, you will have to see that your partner is an equally compatible partner who will be willing to let you do what you want to do. And, balancing of that life and this thing is something that is very tricky, which you have to learn along the route. Yes, Bhuvana, I heard some sound. Yeah. Any other questions on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We do have, and the students are saying that, ma'am, we are seeing you, we are listening to you. You are bold woman, and they have comments on YouTube as well, ma'am. And there's one more question by a student. Nowadays, in native places, granny used to tell, do not talk to man, do not talk to boys. So why such problems? So it's not very clear. The question is like, we are not.
Like I kept saying, it's your socio-cultural background which defines a lot of things that you can do or cannot do. Unfortunately, many of the girls are caught in this very rigid framework of conventional families, which is good and bad in its own way. But there's a lot of blame on the parents and the grandparents also, who have not been able to grow up and grow into times. There is a problem there. And I know many of the girls today will be caught in that web where their aspirations are different, but their expectations, the family's expectations are different. And then they end up in wrong marriages, end up in wrong decisions in life, only because they're not able to manage this pressure. And it is something that's very, very difficult. I can understand that. And it is a conditioning in our society, I think. It's not, we should not be saying in Indian society and all, even in other countries, the same thing happens,
Yes.
but we may not know about it. So there are times that it's difficult. I cannot sit here in my ivory tower and say, hey, girls, go out and get it, go out and do it. No, there are problems in society still. So I cannot be very saying that my story will match somebody else's story and my story can be replicated by someone else. You know, it takes a lot of mix of things for it to be successful. And like I gave you the example of the wrestler, they gave you the example of Mary Kom and all those major women who have achieved so many things out of the blue. I think it is possible. It still is possible to defy.
Any other question, girls?
How many languages you know? I know Kannada, I know English. Hindi, I can manage, but don't talk to me in Hindi, please.
Like, ma'am, being in this field, it's like, people intend to think that, you should be knowing at least more languages so that you can, because what happens when we are only in Hindi, Kannada and English, the other languages whom we want to express that this is my movie, this has to be in this language, so that it is reaching to a more number of people. So what kind of what have you done regarding that? Because now you see dub is happening.
It's a big weakness not to know many languages. What do I say? 75% of my team is Malayali, and they always converse in Malayali. And when they converse with me, they converse in English or in Kannada, which I'm trying to make them learn. But yes, it is a weakness that I have, that I've got my language abilities. We will now come to think of it. And then, but some of the major films that I have done for the government, state government, believe it or not, I have translated those films into weird languages like Spanish and German and Portuguese and Chinese and everything else. And I've been able to manage it without knowing the language and working with the right people, getting the right output done. So we still, I need to keep doing something about that, about myself in terms of learning languages. Somehow at this age, I think you're caught up and don't want to do anything else. What are your achievements during college days? College days, I was like all of you only. Yeah. I was bad. I was naughty. Teachers would get irritated with me. I have done all the pranks that all of you do. And we had a heyday in college. But I was good in my academics. So my teachers remember me even to this day. Even to this day, I'm hooked up with all my teachers in college. We still meet, we still talk, we still interact, and they are extremely proud of my achievements. But we have ragged teachers, we have made them cry, we have done all the pranks that all of you do. We have bunked classes, we have gone to movies, we have done everything. But end of the day, academics, I had no compromise. I was good in my academics. And some of my English teachers tell me that they have preserved my answer sheets with them. That's how lucky I am to get some of the most golden teachers that you can ever think of, who have made me what I am today. And I'm still in touch with all of them. And that's the beauty of it. Recently, believe me or not, some of us got together to meet our nursery school teacher. Okay. And we made a day for her. And she was on top of the world when a group of us went to meet her. And we are in touch with her. And this is what is that bond that you develop in college and school, and which I find again missing today. It is not, I wouldn't say 100% missing, but at least somewhere I would say 60% missing today. That bond which you develop with your college, your alma mater, your teachers, your friends, and that's what makes life going. Ma'am, how have strong, honest, and loyal friends or team? How have means, do I have, or what is it, that question? How would you explain in college, ma'am?
What are your hobbies?
What do you like doing in your spare time? If I get the spare time, I would just like to put up my legs and sleep. You know, not do anything is my great aspiration if I get that time. But I never make that kind of spare time. If I get the spare time, watch a movie, definitely. Today, movie is at the flick of your finger. So you can sit down and watch a movie at home. But I'd love going out and watching a movie. And that's my main thing. Otherwise, it's always yoga, meditation, cycling, walking, nature walks, and photography. And these are the things that keep me constantly inspired. Do you have interest in music? Yes. In the profession that I'm in, there is no topic, no situation that I cannot be not interested in. I have to know everything. I have to understand everything. I have to appreciate everything. And that's the beauty of this profession. If today I'm working in a village, I'm shooting in the remotest village in Karnataka. Tomorrow I'll be shooting in the swanky office of the chief minister. Day after tomorrow, I'm meeting somebody who is a mentally challenged person. The next day, I'm probably meeting a blind lady who has achieved something. So this is the range of emotions and the range of work that we do. And you need to be flexible, adaptable to every type of person that you meet and every type of situation that you encounter. So there is nothing that I can say that I'm not interested in. Yes, I'm interested in everything. A sense of curiosity has to be there in everybody. Yes, anything more?
Any other questions, girls? We'll just see whether we have any questions on YouTube now.
Yeah. But quite resilient girls, yeah? Apart from 6 of them, nobody came on camera. At least in that they are stubborn.
Your favorite book, ma'am? They want to know about your favorite book.
My favorite book are a couple of books. Oriana Fallaci is an author who passed away about 5-6 years ago. She was a journalist. My icon, she was, and she's written many books: Letter to a Child Never Born, Interview with History. These are the books that every journalism student, mass communication student should read. George Orwell's Animal Farm. That's another book that will really build your psyche. Beyond the Blue Mountains, J.R.D. Tata's autobiography. Amazing book that will keep you inspired. And that till there only I can tell, because off late my reading habit has gone for a toss, and it's not a good sign.
One student wants to know, what was your plan B?
Plan B?
Yeah, if not in media.
Oh yeah, here somebody has put.
Yeah.
You had any B option in your initial days of career? Yeah, actually I kind of went into, I wanted to be in broadcast journalism. I wanted to be a reporter anchor. I wanted to be primetime news anchor. Those kind of things was my dream initially, broadcast journalism. And I trained for that. I worked in the television station. Having come back to the US, having come back from the US to India, and to being in Bangalore, that's when the stumbling block happened, because that was the time only Doordarshan was available. And I did not want to get employed and be a Doordarshan employee and be a government employee. And also broadcast journalism was very limited in scope at that time. And there was another news channel by India Today group of publications called News Track. And they used to make cassettes, believe me or not, VHS cassettes of news and features. And it used to come out every fortnight. The cassettes were like magazines. When you subscribe to them, you get a cassette instead of a magazine. It was like that. It was run by Arun Puri's sister, who is Trehan, who's also the wife of the most famous Dr. Naresh Trehan in Delhi. So I was working with them for some time, being trained in broadcast journalism. But of course, after that, they wrapped up, and hence I could not work in that profession much. So I came back and we started doing corporate films and things like that. So that's how the plan changed from broadcast journalism to what I'm doing today, filmmaking. Ma'am, if you weren't famous, what would you be up to right now? I'm not famous. Who said I'm famous? What is fame? Fame is a state of mind. I would continue to make films. I would continue to make films that would help, that would associate causes with it, and that would help causes. That is one thing that I believe in. We have a section in our company which we call Manava, and we make films to help a cause, to promote a cause, and to promote compassion in people by profiling stories of extraordinary people doing ordinary things. That is my playlist called Manava. Any of you can go to our YouTube channel. Once you go to YouTube, you type Maya Films, you'll get a red color logo. And that is our channel. If you subscribe, and you can see all our films there. And this is what I love doing most, because the power of the visual medium has the power to change, has the power to influence, has the power to inform. And I think it's best used for that. So, any other things on that?
I'm out of curiosity.
Yes.
There's one question from my side. It's about have you come up with any movies or any films or stories that is related to historical monuments or anything with history?
Monuments.
Yeah, anything with history, ma'am. Like something you focused, because you was talking about Bangalore, how you wanted to, showcase Bangalore to the world.
Yes.
So like that,
Yes.
have you done anything
Yes,
more?
there are, in our playlist, you have legacy films as a playlist, where you'll see all the films that we have done based on history and legacy. And the recent documentation of the royal family is my effort in that direction, where I want to document history, document people, document the royalty. And with a series of interviews, I don't look at anything elaborate. Just talking to people will get so much history in documentation form. So that's how I do it. There are many films there you see. For example, Rex was being closed down. The theater Rex was being closed down. And we decided to make a film because it was the only single screen theater in that area, one of the single screen theaters in that area, which was closing down. And it was such a popular destination. So we did a legacy film on Rex, shot till the last day until the building got demolished. So we do crazy things like that. We document people, we document history, we document legacies. So it is an awesome journey in history for me. I'm a very big enthusiast of history, and there is a huge project on documenting Bangalore, the old Bangalore. That project is underway, under progress for many years. It will definitely see the light of the day one day soon.
I think there are no other questions, ma'am.
Okay, it was nice seeing the black boxes and seeing the names. And I hope to see all of you when I'm there in college, when we are shooting for the film. And soon, sometime next month, maybe. So thank you, Lakshmi and
Nakshi.
Nakshi and Dr. Hema for this wonderful session. It was a lovely time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
First, I would like to thank our managing trustee, K. Jaira sir, for giving this opportunity. And because of him, I think we have you today in this session. Students might be not very interactive, but definitely they have listened to you, ma'am. They were active,
Give
I
me
guess.
some tips of being one question just passed by me. Tips to be a good speaker like you. Oh, overcome fear, be confident of what you do, and have your heart in the right place. And just be, what do I say? You just have to feel good, do good, and be confident, have the courage of conviction. Then only you can that the expressions come out better. I don't think I'm a good speaker. I have seen many people who speak superior. Something. No?
That was my mistake, I guess. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And
Thank you everybody for setting this up. And you exceeded the time limit.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for that. Yeah.
No problem, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will see you soon in at our college.
Yes. Looking forward to being at your college. I love
very shortly
the people there. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much,
ma'am. Everybody. Thank you, Dr. Hema. Bye, guys.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, girls.
Thank you, girls. See you soon. Stay safe. Stay blessed.